The stage lights dim slightly as an elderly Filipino man walks slowly onto the America's Got Talent stage, his hand gently holding that of his 10-year-old grandson. The contrast between the old and young instantly captures the audience's attention. The grandpa moves with care, a little shaky but full of dignity, while the boy looks nervous yet excited, holding onto his grandpa like his source of strength. The audience smiles, already emotionally connected before a single word is spoken. The host steps forward and asks them to introduce themselves. The boy speaks first, his voice soft but clear, saying they are from the Philippines and they've come to sing together. The judges lean in, curious. When Simon asks why they chose to perform as a duo, the grandson looks at his grandpa before answering. He explains that they are singing in honor of his late grandmother, who always dreamed of seeing them perform on a big stage. His voice trembles slightly, but he keeps smiling. The grandpa nods slowly, his eyes already glistening with emotion. The audience lets out a collective, heartfelt, "ah," and a few people wipe their eyes even before the performance begins. There is a genuine stillness in the room, a quiet respect for the bond they share. It's not just another audition, it feels like a family moment being shared with millions. Simon folds his arms and leans forward, not in judgment, but in interest. Something about them has already touched him. The music hasn't even started, but the story has already begun, and everyone in the room knows this performance will be special. The music begins softly, a gentle instrumental intro filled with nostalgia, and the audience immediately recognizes it as a beloved Filipino classic. The grandpa takes the first line, his voice slightly worn by age but rich with emotion, every word carrying a lifetime's worth of love and memories. His tone is calming, almost storytelling rather than singing, and the room falls completely silent. Then, just a few seconds later, the grandson joins in. His voice is young, clear, and full of innocence, creating a beautiful harmony that feels almost magical. The blend of generations, one voice shaped by time, the other untouched and pure, creates a sound that feels both fragile and powerful. People in the audience begin to close their eyes, swaying gently, soaking in the moment. The judges look at each other, pleasantly surprised. Sophia places a hand on her heart, Heidi smiles softly, and even Simon's stern expression fades into something warm and reflective. The camera zooms in on the duo, the grandpa glancing proudly at his grandson, and the boy singing with complete sincerity, never letting go of his grandpa's hand. The song isn't just being sung, it's being lived. Every note holds a memory, every lyric feels like a message sent to the grandmother they loved. Their voices rise together, then soften, like a conversation between two souls connected by music and family. By this point, the audience is no longer just watching a performance, they're witnessing a moment of love, tradition, and legacy unfold right in front of them. As the song reaches the middle, the mood shifts from gentle nostalgia to deep emotion. The grandson's voice suddenly trembles as he glances down at the little photo of his late grandmother pinned to his shirt. His eyes begin to fill with tears, and his voice cracks on a lyric that clearly meant something personal. The audience feels the moment instantly. A soft gasp travels through the room, and the cameras zoom in, capturing the boy's struggle to stay strong. The grandpa notices immediately and turns slightly toward his grandson, still singing, but now gently placing a comforting hand on the boy's shoulder. It's a silent message, "I'm here. Keep going." She's proud. The boy wipes his cheek quickly and continues singing, voice breaking but full of heart. The fragility of that moment becomes the strongest part of the performance. In the audience, people are visibly emotional, some with hands over their mouths, others already wiping away tears. The judges are just as affected. Heidi's eyes are red, Sophia holds a tissue, and even Simon, who rarely shows emotion, blinks a few extra times, staring intensely as if trying not to miss a single second. This isn't just a musical performance anymore, it's grief, love, childhood, and legacy wrapped into a single shared breath on stage. The audience now understands, they're not singing for the show, they're singing through their pain. What was once a song has become a message to someone who's no longer physically there, but still present in every note they sing. As the final verse approaches, the grandpa and grandson lift their voices together in perfect harmony, stronger than before, as if the emotion has now become their fuel rather than their weakness. The boy's tears are still visible, but his voice is steady, and the grandpa sings with a renewed strength that seems to come from love rather than age. The music fades into the final note, which the grandson holds just a little longer, eyes closed, almost as if offering it to the memory of his grandmother. The note ends, and for a split second, there is complete silence, no clapping, no cheering, just stunned stillness. Then, all at once, the room erupts. The entire audience rises to their feet in a powerful standing ovation. Some are crying openly, others cheering through tears. People hold their hands over their hearts, and many are shaking their heads in disbelief at the purity of what they just witnessed. The cameras pan across the judges' table. Heidi is openly crying, Sophia dabs at her eyes with a tissue, Howie gives a soft smile, and Simon, he doesn't move at first. He just sits there, staring, deeply affected. The grandson throws his arms around his grandpa, burying his face into his shoulder. The grandpa hugs him back, eyes wet but smiling proudly, as if he's silently telling him, "We did it. She heard us." The entire stage feels transformed, not just a platform for talent, but a space where love just conquered the room. The hosts rush out, gently placing a hand on both of their backs, while the audience continues clapping, refusing to stop. It doesn't feel like applause anymore, it feels like gratitude. Simon finally exhales, leans forward, and adjusts his microphone, but for a moment he can't even find the words. The audience quiets down, sensing something rare, Simon Cowell speechless. He looks at the grandpa first, then at the grandson, and there's no hint of his usual sharp humor. His voice is softer than anyone expects. He says, "You didn't just sing a song, you shared a piece of your heart with all of us." That was one of the most genuine and beautiful moments we've ever had on this stage. The grandson wipes his eyes again, still holding onto his grandpa's hand, and the audience applauds softly, emotional all over again. Simon continues, his tone steady but full of feeling. "I've judged thousands of performances, but what you two just did, that was unforgettable. That wasn't talent. That was love." The room goes silent, hanging on to every word. Then he looks at the golden buzzer in front of him. He doesn't hesitate. "This one is for your Lola," he says, pressing it. The crowd explodes. Golden confetti rains down from above, sparkling under the stage lights. The grandson covers his face in disbelief, and the grandpa pulls him into the tightest hug yet. Both of them cry, and this time the audience cries with them. The judges stand, clapping through tears, and Simon stays seated, just smiling with complete admiration. The host runs up, lifting the boy's arm into the air like a champion. The moment feels bigger than a competition, more like a celebration of family, music, and memories that will never fade. The confetti continues to fall, and in the middle of it all, the grandpa whispers something to his grandson. The boy nods, smiling through tears, and the world witnesses not just a golden buzzer moment, but a legacy being passed from one heart to another.